go. Let's go. Cobra Kai. Never die. Here we go, people. The moment of truth has come. We have arrived. We have arrived at this point that many of us never thought we were going to get to. We finally get to review Karate Kid Season 3. Cobra Kai Season 3. Oh, yeah. Now, the way I look at it is like this. Cobra Kai Season 3. Let me come here and have a seat. Oh, feel good, good people. Sad they didn't send you guys a notification. But it happens. What's good, Intelligent Cycle? I haven't seen you in so long. Now, I gave people ample time to watch it. Now, let's talk about Cobra Kai. Now, from the fallout at the mall, and if you hadn't seen Cobra Kai, well, season 1 and 2, shame on you. I mean, absolute shame on you. There's no way you should have not seen this series by now. Now, the series starts off at a crossroads. It's all the fallout of what happened with season 2 when Miguel's in the hospital. So you have to go through the setup of what this season is going to be. It's 10 episodes to the season. Everyone is caught in a dilemma because in the beginning it's set up perfectly. People's like, man, it ain't kicking off right now. Well, that's because you got to get to the meat. But before you get to the meat, you got to go through the potatoes and the vegetables. You have to get these seeds because it's important for when they move forward. You're going to look back on those earlier episodes. And what they're doing is showing you the disdain and the fallout and the blowback that happened to everybody. Daniel and Johnny's reputations that they built in the community by having the karate come back just totally tarnished. Johnny's back getting drunk. He's in the streets. Cobra Kai now is still up and running, but now Crease has gotten control of it. Miyagi-Do is no more. It's just dissolved, and all there is now really is Cobra Kai. Yeah, so when the season starts, you've seen the students go through a whole new restructuring. Parents are, not around. The girl Aisha, she's no longer there. In the story, she moved. So you're starting to see the school go through changes because this happened on school property. So they're responsible for kids' safety. So now there's new restrictions in place, like there's strict rules or you're kicked out of school or suspended, period. So now this is mostly Hawk's chance. Hawk is really leading the way. As you see, Tori she had to report to juvie now. She's not in jail because of the fact that she is taking care of her mother. She's a care person for her mom. So she has to take care of mom. She's working 2 jobs. It's rough for her. She's having a hard time. So she couldn't come to the dojo. But Crease knows she's a born fighter. That girl can fight. She's one of the best fighters next to Hulk. Like, they're the anchors. Now, moving forward into this season, you're starting to see a lot of changes. Well, the thing is that the changes are subtle. They're not like, you see, when on YouTube they fed you slowly. On Netflix they gave you all 10 right away. So you binge watched it over a weekend and now you're starving for more. On YouTube it went about 10 weeks. You got one episode a week and you're starving waiting on the next episode, and bang, and they hit you with another one. So for 10 weeks straight, you were just starving for episodes. And then when the Netflix came out and they had the series, and you guys like, this is great. We're like, we're waiting on season 3. We've been watched these seasons. So you guys are just now getting a full dose. Well, here's the scenario. You look at someone like John Crease, right? Crease is someone who used to have a lot. You know, he used to have everything and he lost it. Now he's back in power. He's bigger than ever. He's in control. Cobra Kai is running things. But all they have to do is continue to win. They just won the All Valley. So now they have a gym. Miyagi-Do is basically free karate. You know, co-join Miyagi-Do. You're not even paying for dues. So now the people are trying to navigate this new system with the school, the students, Cobra Kai, Miyagi-Do. You know, Sam's leading the charge in the way as she deals and copes with, you know, her fears of going back to school. You know, after what happened with her in the attack and the fight. Now, Robbie's in jail in juvie because of the fight. Well, he's not. First, he's on the run. Then he ends up in jail because Daniel turns him in and said, this is the best way you get you a nice sentence. You can come home. It's always good. You can come back home. And, you know, she wrote him all the time, but never, ever, ever, you know, came to see him. She never came to see Robbie. Now, what people seem to miss in this season is the manipulative ways of Sam. Miguel's in the hospital. He wakes up. He's starting to get better, but he can't feel his legs. So he's paralyzed. Crease is the hero. Crease, actually a war veteran, comes over to Tori's aid when she was going to have to do something strange for some change to be able to stay there. You know, dude was like, look, we could work something off, you know, where you ain't got to pay no rent no more. So Crease comes over there and put something down on him. I mean, she basically pointed the guy out like, you take care of him, I can come back. So Crease took care of the guy. She was back in Cobra Kai. Now, Crease, you got some backstory to his beginnings, how he got started, and what kind of turned him into the direction he did. The woman he loved and was gonna marry when he came home from the war, she died in a car accident. And the guy who he became was the guy who led them on the mission. And Crease could not blow up his partner, who was Terry Silver, and Crease couldn't do it, you know, and he saved Crease's life, but he also cost the life of another soldier, and then allowed both of them or all of them to be captured, and they were going to have to fight each other to the death. Then the U.S. military showed up, and they were freed. But not before Crease takes out his commanding officer and drops him in a pit of cobras. Crease finds his identity as he told Crease that his girlfriend was dead. Oh, I love season 3 also. The commanding officer deserved it. And he told him, no mercy. You showed mercy, and look what happened. So you got the no mercy part from Crease. Crease was a man suffering from losing his long-loved woman that he loved and fought for and protected her. Came back from the war and signed up for another war because the woman he loved was gone. Cobra Kai is definitely going to take people to a new place that they've never been as far as entertainment. It's a lot of things that happen. The guy that's what's his name, Ross. It could be a coincidence, but in Karate Kid, there's been very few coincidences. Ross, the guy that and Terry Silver calls him to bribe him, who was the DA that he needed to bribe Ross. No mercy was Ross. His name was Ross. The guy that owns the rival dealership name is Ross. Some type of connection is going to happen with the Rosses. And I'm thinking he's going to have something to do with Terry Silver. And, you know, that might be a connection there. Because both of them last name is Ross. Thanks, Smash Ball, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Brought back the dude LaRusso fought overseas. You must be young. That's Chosen. Daniel has to fight for his company. So he went back to Okinawa, but not for the reasons people really thought. Daniel was there to save his company. Plus, he wanted to go back to visit Tommy Village. And he finds out that Sato actually, remember the deed was to stay with the land forever. And he decided not to tear down the village and do what he wanted to do. He ended up doing it anyway. And now there's a Ben and Jerry's and Starbucks there. The Tommy Village is like, they've been saved. They got all these corporate companies coming in. So before Sato passed, he did all these things. And Sato Chosen, basically, who was disgraced after his fight to the death with Daniel. After his defeat, this was like a redemption. And that was so wonderful to see that Kimiko was back and she was teaching dance again. It was a beautiful moment. But during that part, you were seeing the discord between the kids fighting at the schools. So the schools are still nervous about having these students back in control and everything else, as Sam is trying to prove, like, we're going to just stand up and not be bullied. So she's like taking over the leadership and really running Miyagi-Do since, Daniel has really been done, and then they haven't really had any karate going on. And the wife was not on board. Well, Crease is about 70 and Crease is about to kill Johnny. If it wasn't for Daniel popping up. Oh, Crease is a great man. The greatest karate man ever known, Sensei John Crease. Now, the scenarios always change, don't they? So as the series plays out, you're starting to see new developments. You're starting to see Robbie's dealing with his own demons, being in lockup, feeling alone. Crease comes out to visit him because Johnny doesn't want to come back. He knows if I get Robbie back, then Johnny will want to come back. And then we can be a unit again. But Robbie's the key. Now, as Miguel's getting better, he don't want to go back to Crease's karate. Crease is not his sensei. Johnny is. So now he's there, but he's not with Cobra Kai anymore. He's not hanging with them no more. They're not really speaking with him, as he's hanging out more with Sam. And she's manipulating him. And he's like, oh, I don't really hang around with them no more. So she's manipulating him to not hang around with Cobra Kai. Like, you're not still hanging out with those guys, are you? She's just so manipulating. Then she's flirting with him the entire time. And she forgot all about Robbie. She stopped writing Robbie. So Robbie decided when he got out that he didn't want to deal with Daniel or his father. And he goes over to the house to see Sam. And he walks in and see Miguel. And he sees her. And it's not what you think. First thing she tells him. And he's like, you two deserve each other. Because it's exactly what he thought. And Daniel finally confronts his daughter and was like, wait a minute now, you're probably the reason for all of this, because I don't know, you went to Tyler, to Miguel, to Robbie, like, which one is it? You're out here doing a lot of damage. She for the street. She for the streets, baby. Oh man. So it's funny because when the game comes on, it's the same people in the video game that they got in the movie, I mean on the TV series. You learn a lot. You learn a lot about the structure. You learn a lot about how Crease became the guy he was, and how he picked up some of his fighting techniques. Even the takedown in the beginning, the guy who took Crease down the way he did is the same way Crease did in the Karate Kid Part 1. So they do a lot of this, what they call nostalgia in moments that goes all the way back to the beginning. Now, Elizabeth Shue, she came in and her episode was good, but we don't know if we're going to ever get to see her back because she's filming The Boys. And oh man, I just got an alert that Screech is dying. They don't know what's wrong with him. His cancer runs through his family, and his whole body is hurting all over, and he don't know why. And they feel he's got some cancer. Bob Deering, Stacey Harmon, and there are a lot of people who are responsible for this show. Dougie, Mallory, Bob Deering, like I think I said Bob already. But these are the people that really made this thing go. You know, these guys really did a lot. William and Ralph did a great job as well. A lot of people don't know, Overbrook is the company that really gave this a chance because they believed in it. Will Smith and James Lassiter, they financed Cobra Kai. They put their money behind it. Now, they didn't need the Fresh Prince to join in at all. But that's what happened. No, it's the Emmy. The writing is not an enemy. Emmy worthy, but it's a great show because the characters actually pop. You know, normally when they do these shows, the new characters kind of suck, and you want to see the old ones back. You're like, man, I wish the old guys had more. It's not one of those shows where the older guys are just there standing puppets, and the younger cast is actually holding the show and holding on with their storyline. It connects, and everybody has a role. That's what makes the show pop. And Susan Ekins and Kayla Pickett also are responsible, you know, for this project. Now, they come harass Crease, of course, once Daniel learns techniques from Chosen, who basically redeemed himself from the Karate Kid Part 2. People forget Chosen was young also and was competing for this guy because he liked, he liked Chemical too. And had it not been for Daniel, he probably would have ended up marrying Chemical. Once this American kid comes down, once this American kid comes to their town in Okinawa, in their village, takes over the town basically. And the only reason Chemical's affection went towards Daniel and was so heavy towards Daniel, it wasn't because she was infatuated with him. She was using Daniel. She saw Daniel as a way out of Okinawa. He can get her a visa. And she goes back with Daniel on a travel visa. She could talk him into getting married, and that way she can get to the States and dance. When I was younger, I didn't really see it, but then I figured this out quick when I was older. I'm like, oh, she running game on Daniel. Yeah, she was finessing Daniel. See, nobody picked up on that. She was finessing Daniel because she wanted to do dance. That was her thing. That's what I want to do very much. I want to dance. And she was telling him, there's no type of schools for the dancing here. And then Daniel, oh, we got plenty of that in America. Well, that's where she wants to go, Daniel. Can you get her there? And I've been like, baby, we gonna go all the way. He could. All right, you gotta see the play, baby. So Chosen's upset because he's like, man, this dude come from out of town, and now all of a sudden I ain't popping no more. We rich. That's why when he took his shirt off and was like, keep for your collection. I know you like. I was Chosen little chick, and then she gonna get brand new on him when she sees she can get out the States. You got a choice: broken ice or broken neck. So yeah, they sitting over there running a finesse game. But you start to see Hulk, who's my favorite character on the show, go through a different transformation. He went through a transformation of dealing with his own fear. As they got new recruits, and the recruits were the guys that used to bully him. You start to see the old Eli come back. And I think Jacob is the name of the actor. He did a very good job in balancing out some factors as far as when they got the new students in. The bully still had, even though he was a karate martial arts expert, the bully still had control over him. The Tyler or Kyler, whatever his name is, still had control over him mentally. As I told you, Miguel didn't walk for like the first 6 episodes. So Miguel wasn't going to be the focal point of the martial arts. Daniel LaRusso's hot wife. Oh, yeah. Daniel did a great job. Yes, it's on Netflix. Yeah, then this one girl, man, she is thick-witted. She's the new recruit. Like that girl, woo, she is muscle bound and stacked. She got a fatty. Well, Crease can sense the situation right away. And what he was doing was thinning the herd. And he said, enjoying Madden Mania. Could that be the daughter of Terry Silver? I think that could be the daughter of Dutch more than anybody else. Right. See, people slept on the fact that she could actually be Dutch's daughter. I'm not asleep on it. She could be the daughter of Dutch. Dutch is locked up. Her father's locked up. And we don't really know who the mom is yet. And Johnny never really went into Tori's, history. Or Mike Barnes' daughter. Well, it wouldn't really make sense because Mike Barnes wouldn't have a connection with the town. He was like a hired gun. He was only in town just for that. He was LA's bad boy, or whatever. He just came to LA to be the body boy, for that thing for Terry Silver. That was the only reason he was down there. So Dutch would make more sense because Dutch is locked up and he was the only guy that wasn't with them when they did the reunion piece and they all was riding together. And they was able to do an episode with their friend before he ended up passing away. And then he passed away in real life. Somebody get him a body bag. Tommy. Right. So Terry was on the phone talking to Crease at the end. We don't know. They might do a connection. I see a piece where they could connect the next Karate Kid with this saga as well. Saying like meaning that they don't want to go down that road as far as neglecting it. It's part of the Karate Kid franchise as much as we have neglected it. There's a lot of things that have happened in Cobra Kai that has some connection to sorry about that. You said Lex and Gavin and Gavin. Where you see Gavin at? Madden Hood story yesterday. Oh, you talking about what happened out here? Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, during the game. Oh yeah, that was my boy. He came by the crib, man. It was crazy. It's something that happened around here. Dude went nuts. Dude, they stole his car and he tracked him down and gave out street justice. But the idiot called the cops on himself, then went nuts and started taking them out. Dude, I just heard this story 3 times yesterday. Like 3 different people and told me the same story because we know the guy. So he's like, "Yep, I heard." Hey, I forgot that I was on that I can mute the thing out. I need to mute it out because PlayStation here that I could be banned. I could be banned for life. Yeah, he snapped. He told them not to move. They moved. There's a lot of missing pieces in the puzzle that we would definitely like to see or have done. The Absolutely. But as the series played out, you start to see people switching, and then Johnny decided to come out with his thing, Eagle Fang, which was hilarious because eagles don't have fangs. It was hilarious. Eagle Fang. The logo was crazy. That eagle with the fangs. So Eagle Fang was his whole thing. They couldn't afford a dojo. So now you got 3 mentors and they all are trying to figure out how they're going to proceed with going forward with the tournament. That was just hilarious because what made it funny was the fact that all 3 were in there fighting to try to get the tournament going. And the only one that was winning was Crease. Crease had control of the floor. Crease is a war veteran that still holds a lot of weight in the valley. Crease is the one hasn't he's paying his rent on time. They tried to get the guy to evict him for no reason by offering him more money. Then tried to send them his big buddies to get Crease out of there. So Crease, that's when he started attacking Daniel and them. He wasn't even coming after them. He was just keeping it focused on the kids and everything else. Now Crease is like, okay, you made your play. Now it's my turn. Now I'm coming after you. It's open season. But see, they started it with Crease. Crease wasn't bothering any of them. He's in his gym doing what he does. Well, they didn't want to make it cheesy and make Allie the surgeon that saves Miguel. It probably was in the original script, but they didn't want to make it cheesy. This whole thing has been misdirections. Like they had the nurse, she was blonde, just like Allie and stuff. They were like, "Oh, that's Allie, that's the surgeon." She turned around and was just a regular person. The person that they looked like Terry Silver, we thought it was going to be Terry. It wasn't. Terry was the other guy, the guy we thought was Crease at the restaurant. It wasn't him. Crease was the waiter who was getting bullied. So it was a lot of misdirections in this season, purposely done, and they're getting ready to do you in again. So in season 4, we're gonna get the real bad guy. See, they trained from Cobra Kai from Korea. Uh, and Karate Kid 3 is where you get a lot of the background from Cobra Kai. We really didn't have any background for Cobra Kai until Karate Kid Part 3. Because 2 didn't really deal with Cobra Kai. It dealt with Miyagi going back and dealing with his own inner fightings within his own karate in his hometown in Japan. Had nothing to really do with Crease. Now that they back home, you get to learn about Cobra Kai's history, that this Terry Silver bought this for him. Terry Silver is a mastermind evil guy. If Crease is Vader, he's the Emperor. He reinvigorates Crease's karate, gets Crease back on track when Crease was ready to throw in the towel, sends him to Tahiti. Because you see, he saved his life twice in Vietnam, as he tells that story about Vietnam. And that's when you learn about Cobra Kai. Say it. Cobra Kai never die. Cobra Kai wouldn't have a Asian karate instructor, because Cobra Kai, Crease was not Asian. Crease learned the karate when he was in Vietnam and brought it here. So it makes sense. His sensei was a Korean that taught him when he was in Vietnam. Who also taught his commanding officer, and Crease taught his team, which consisted of Terry Silver. Well, here's the thing. They've already been shooting Karate Kid season 4. A lot of people just didn't know. They were already going back to shooting it. The reason why they might do some reshoots, but the reason why they were doing that is because COVID hit. Season 3 was already completed before all of this hit. Well, you saw how it fight his fears. You know, all that bullying, his rage came out as he destroyed the bully. And he confronted his bully after beating after beating down his friend. And what was funny was the point where Johnny was taking these social media type pictures. They were really poking fun at all of the people that take these stupid pictures and put them on social media, like on Facebook. And he's just going around, faking it. Just so he thinking that, okay, I'm gonna do this. Me and Ali are gonna be connected because he thinking this is how social media works. And it's weird because that's what people do on social media. Taking pictures of food. So Tori, who's working 2 jobs taking care of her mom, when Miguel is there, she didn't really go see Miguel because she feel responsible for putting Miguel in that situation. So her causing the fight, which led to him getting his back, getting put in a wheelchair. And she didn't come see him in the hospital. So Miguel held that upon her. So everybody had their little drama going on. And I also like they brought back Daniel's cousin from Jersey. That's what I'm saying. Daniel would have had all his cousins from Jersey come down and get down if they was bullying him like that and he was having problems at school. He would have had Petey, Joey. They all came down there. Yo, where the trouble at? Yeah, let me talk to you for a minute. Yeah, come over here. Crack! Johnny Lawrence. Real athletic guy. Likes to do turnaround kicks and everything. Yeah. Can't kick with a baseball bat to the kneecap. Ain't no way in hell them cousins down, they would have flew down there. Italians too, they wouldn't have been quiet about it. They've been arguing. All right, I'm getting the car ready. All right. Jeez, he's busting my balls. I'm just getting the car. All right. Forget about it. Hey. Is it over there? Over there? Bada bing, bada boom. What do you mean, come on? I am coming on. Oh, the final scene. Well, before all that, the fight at the school. I mean, the fight there when what's his name got his arm broken. Oh, I loved it. I loved it when his arm got broke. Hold on. Hello. Hey, how you doing? Okay, that sounds good. Yes, I will. Okay. Bye bye. Oh, Agnes is coming around. Oh, the dream sequence when she like kills Daniel's daughter. That fight scene. When she was fighting with Tori and Tori beat her brains in, she was dealing with the fear. All of a sudden, she's got loss of breath because she's dealing with her fear. She feels the guilt of Miguel. She's back at the school. That whole event, the trauma of that is destroying her. Oh yeah, I loved it when he got his arm broken. I love his arm. I cannot stand. I cannot stand his buddy. Yeah, Dimitri is annoying. And I'm like, he landed one kick on Hulk, and now he thinks he's a karate master. I couldn't wait till he got his hands on him again. And they weren't even going after them. They were chilling, drinking some beers, hanging out. Sam went and grabbed him and brought them up there to fight. And that was my favorite part because soon as they was in there jumping him and everything, then all of a sudden Tori shows up. And that shit changed all of it. LaRusso, where you at? She got real small, real fast. She was like, and she sat there and wait. Yeah, the other guy got thrown through a window. Exactly. Cobra Kai was laying the rules down like y'all started a war, we gonna finish it. They weren't playing no games. And I'm like, man, these are some real cool parents because normally parents be in the principal office, the police station. It'd have been some kids arrested. On this show, definitely out here. Somebody would have been in jail for real. They be, look what he did to my Edward. He has a scratch. Oh, that's gonna be a lifetime scar. He said, my girls love Cobra Kai. That's good, Mr. Bailey. They kept this going for a long time. Like, they kept the pressure up. Like, the pressure of the show, everything, it was a lot going on. Like, the tension, what was happening with Sam. Now, I think Sam needs to work on her physical condition for the role. I mean, she's a little out of shape for this one. But Daniel's wife, man, she was looking good. I want to see her go a couple rounds. So everybody welcome Miguel back. When he started walking and coming back to school, and he started seeing how his old friends from Cobra Kai, they were just doing all these bad things while he was gone. And the Cobra Kai still think of Johnny as a traitor. Like, he got Miguel hurt. He got soft. So when he saw Dimitri got his arm broke, he felt sorry for him. He said a 6'5" brother when Robbie was in prison. Oh man. I mean, dude from prison was giving Robbie the business, and Robbie started, kicking it off with him. That fight was about a draw because it wasn't like Robbie, man. The 6'5" brother tackled him in the hallway and was kicking him right in the ribs. Miguel's mom and Elizabeth Shue. Well, the thing is, I think Miguel's mom, and I don't think that's going to really be a problem because I think Johnny's content now with being with Miguel's mom. Like, I think he reached that point, like, I got to move past Allie, he kind of felt like he got a bit of redemption on Johnny. Hold on. Hello? Hey, what's up? Yeah. Oh, okay. Tell her thank you. She ain't have to do that. Oh no, Dad told me no. Well, yeah, he ain't tell me that. He told me you gotta get those grades up. He said your grades are bad. All right. All right. Yeah, I know. I was saying that too. Allie's too bougie. Well, Allie comes from a rich family. You know, her family's rich. Johnny family wasn't really rich. Her mom married a rich guy. You know, her stepdad. His stepdad had all the money. Well, I hope we get to see in the next season what plays out. Everybody was dealing with their own fears. Daniel had to deal with his fears of not knowing how to communicate with his daughter and all the stuff he was losing track of, and fear of losing his company, and wasn't he had to go back to get recentered, and that's what everybody had to do. Everybody was fighting fears in this one. Robbie fear in prison, his fears of and insecurities with his dad and all this other stuff. Robbie is still fighting that. Sam is fighting her fears of what happened. While everybody else has moved on, it's hard for her to do that. Miguel was fighting his fear of not being able to be the same, as he was before. The confidence was there. He was this martial arts champion. And now, he's like this forgotten, like this forgotten person that, they got to take care of considerably. There's so many people dealing with fears and things. And people who were kicked out of Cobra Kai, they were considered the weak link. They had to move to another tables. So now Miguel is once again bewitched by all of the things that's happened. He's back hanging out with Sam. And once Crease knew to tell that to Tori because he knew that they was going to get them what they needed. They were going to do all the action themselves. Well, seeing Johnny team up with Daniel was cool. But in season 4, we're gonna see how that works. It's probably a team up to try to get rid of Crease. So everything's gonna be leading up to the All Valley. They had the big epic fight in Daniel's house where everybody confronts their fears. Sam finally stands up to Tori. You see Hawk comes over and helps his friends and realize that he doesn't want to be a part of Cobra Kai. It's not turned into something that he wants. He's trying to be tough. And Robbie points that out. Like, I don't have to drink beer to try to be cool. When they're trying to be bad, we're bad. We're drinking beer. We're going to break into this place and do, it's like they don't. Robbie's like, I've been doing bad stuff my whole life. You guys are trying to, be bad to be cool. Like, are you kidding? So when Robbie got there, he made him look. I know he did make him look like a chump with that line. Oh yeah, when Chosen got his redemption, when he had Daniel and he was disgraced, and Karate Kid too. So when he got to beat Daniel and actually do the move, because that always ticked us off as kids. We didn't think it was believable. Daniel LaRusso is gonna beat martial art, go to Japan and just whoop a #1 fighter, the Sato's #1 student who's been doing karate since he was born. He trains the military how to fight karate. Daniel LaRusso comes and beats him with the drum technique. I mean, they confirmed it, but we already knew that it was going to be rated R. There was no way they could make Deadpool PG-13. Deadpool has a standard. And once you mess up the standard, you're messing up the brand. I know. Tell me about it. So that fight with Crease was another Johnny and Daniel fighting their fears. Crease was the first guy, like he feared John Crease, He was a little kid, a teenager when Crease was there. Now he's a grown man, and he gets to see what they do to his house and destroy his home. He had enough, and he went there to put a stop to Crease. Johnny went there, and this is a man he was in fear of his entire life as a teenager. And to stand up to Crease and fight him, that was it. And now that he's got Robbie, his son, and this is that's hurting Johnny worse than anything. But he really wants Johnny to come back home, come back to Cobra Kai. Oh, well, of course it's a body double. Crease is about 70 years old. And Daniel's definitely in his 50s. His karate days was over. He was never the athletic one anyway. So, yeah, I think so. I think Julie will be back. But season 3 was all about fear. As he tells his daughter when he was in fear of Mike Barnes and he didn't want to get up on the line and fight. And he was facing fear like he had never faced before in his life. Now, he just fought for his life in Okinawa to the death. Fear didn't hit him then. Fear hit him now. Facing Terry Silver, Crease, and Mike Barnes. Oh, people have edited this video. They could not believe Daniel won this tournament. They were so mad, like I was. I could not believe that he lost to a move. Just Daniel doing kata. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Get the point. Get the point. I would get mad all over again. Well, in Japan, it was about honor. Honor is everything over there. Daniel came over there, interfered with what he was doing with the ripping people off for the food, and broke the weight. Once he did that and broke the weight, and he was disgraced as a cheat because they sold the market, the meat, the food for the market in there came from them. That was Chosen's job to go over there for his uncle. And when they sell the food and stuff off the truck, the fruit, they were ripping people off. Oh, you and T finna play Madden? Oh man. Oh man. I don't know how you found T. T, I don't think he been on in a month. But anyway, let me get some work done, man. It's been cool talking Cobra Kai. Season 4. We're gonna be ready to go.